Have you ever found yourself just staring at a blank beige wall in your apartment and feeling stuck? You want to make it yours, but at the same time, it all feels so temporary. Well, that's the classic renter's dilemma, right? In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of how to transform any rental into a space that truly feels like your home.
And this, right here, is the core myth we are going to totally bust today. This idea that a home is something you buy, not something you build. We're told our whole lives that home ownership is the goal. But what if a deed, a piece of paper, isn't actually the magic ingredient? Let's challenge that. So just look at this contrast for a second. A bought house is based on ownership, a deed. And ironically, that can actually feel kind of restrictive. But a built home, that's founded on intention and meaning. It's all about creating that feeling of safety and belonging. That right there is the powerful shift we're aiming for.
And this is the mindset shift we need to make. Renting is not a temporary waiting room for real life to begin. It is flexible living. And that flexibility, when you really lean into it, is a genuine psychological superpower.
So, here's our game plan for how we're going to get there. First, we're going to completely dismantle that myth of home. Then, we'll build up a new foundation with 3 powerful psychological pillars: control, identity, and rituals. And finally, we'll see how it all comes down to one simple key idea: intention.
All right, let's tackle that foundational myth head on. A home isn't just a financial transaction. It's an intentional act. You know, it's a series of small, conscious choices that send a powerful message to your nervous system that says, hey, you're safe here.
So what's the secret? What's the solution?
Well, it all comes down to 3 powerful psychological pillars. Just 3 core ideas that can fundamentally change your entire relationship with your living space, whether you plan to be there for 6 months or 6 years.
Okay, pillar number 1. This is all about reclaiming control. As humans, we all have this deep need to shape our environment. It's just how we're wired. But as a renter, it is so easy to feel powerless, right? You feel stuck with someone else's choices. Well, that's about to change.
So, this all comes down to a really key concept: psychological agency. It's just a fancy term for that feeling of being in the driver's seat of your own life, and in this case, your own space. And the more agency you have, the less stress you feel and the more emotionally stable you are. So how do we get more of that in a rental?
So how do you actually reclaim that sense of agency when you've got a landlord and a lease hanging over your head? Well, it's actually way more straightforward than you might think.
It's all about these small but really meaningful choices. Swap out those generic cabinet knobs. Just pro tip, remember to keep the originals in a baggie. You can use peel and stick wallpaper or a new backsplash. Bring in your favorite colors with pillows and art. And please, for the love of all that is cozy, get some lamps and stop using those harsh overhead lights.
And here's the really brilliant part. Even these tiny, totally reversible changes send a massive signal to your brain. They restore your sense of agency, and that directly lowers your background stress levels. You are telling yourself, I am in control here.
All right, ready for pillar number 2? Let's move on to designing identity. This is where we make sure your space is telling your story. A rental apartment might start out generic, but your life certainly isn't.
Psychologically, what we're talking about here is self-expression. It's the act of surrounding yourself with things that tell the story of who you are, what you love, and where you've been. Your home should really be a physical manifestation of your own unique journey. This is the goal. This is the transition we're aiming for, moving from thinking of it as just a place I live to feeling, deep down, that it is my place. That is the emotional connection we're building.
So how do we get there? Let's do a quick brainstorm. Start with a simple question. What objects in your life actually tell your story? I mean, think about souvenirs from trips, family heirlooms, your favorite photos, that piece of art that you just had to have.
Okay, now let's think about touch. What textures make you feel calm and grounded? Is it a soft velvet pillow, a big cozy knit blanket, or maybe the smooth surface of a wooden table?
And finally, what about color? What colors really feel like you? Not what's trendy, not what you see in magazines, but what colors really, truly resonate with your personality. This is how you infuse a generic space with your soul.
And now for our final and maybe the most powerful pillar of all, building rituals. Because a home isn't just about what you see, it's so much about what you do there.
The big idea here is something called emotional permanence. This is this brilliant concept that you can create a feeling of stability and belonging through consistent, repeated actions. Your lease might not be permanent, but your feeling of being home absolutely can be.
So what do these rituals look like in real life? Oh, it can be as simple as having your morning coffee in the same sunny spot every single day. Or maybe creating a nightly routine where you dim the lights and light a favorite candle. Maybe it's a Sunday reset, fresh sheets, a clean space. Or even just a welcome home playlist that instantly signals to your brain that it's time to relax.
See, these aren't just habits. They're incredibly powerful psychological cues. These rituals teach your brain on a deep subconscious level that this space is your safe harbor. It's your sanctuary. This is where you belong.
So, let's bring it all together. Let's bring it all home, literally. The big takeaway from all of this is a really simple but profound shift in perspective. It's all about focusing on intention, not on a piece of paper.
Here is the bottom line. You don't need a deed to feel at home. You need intention. You need to consciously and deliberately create a space that not only reflects who you are right now, but also supports the person that you are becoming.
So I'll leave you with this question, a little challenge. After everything we've covered, what is one small ritual you can start tonight to begin building that deeper sense of home right where you are?
Be sure to check out our Instagram feed and website as well. We can be found at www.comewhatmayhomedecor.com. Until next time, come what may.